What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are Monday morning, finishing the day up $7,000. Pedal to the metal, being aggressive. Momentum continues to be really hot. The month of May has been a terrific month. We've still got really 2 weeks left, which is awesome. So here's the deal. Sometimes traders ask me, Ross, if you know you're right 70% of the time, why don't you just always trade with 12,000 shares, let's say? And the reason is because during a cold streak, my accuracy is usually going to dip down a little bit. We don't see big follow through, we don't see big winners, and slippage, of course, is always a factor. So what I want to do during a cold streak is sort of throttle back, reduce my share size to minimize my risk of loss. Now, during a hot streak, my accuracy is going to go up to 75, 80%, maybe even higher. And that's the time where we're seeing bigger breakouts, more circuit breaker halts, more volatility, and that's when I want to increase my share size to maximize on the hot streak. Maximizing on hot streaks and minimizing on cold streaks takes a fair amount of experience to be able to know when to be aggressive and when to slow down. So keep watching the midday recaps, and as always, if you have questions, put them below. I'll come back and answer them later on, and tomorrow morning I'll be live streaming as usual, 9:15 pre-market analysis. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you get those alerts when I go live. All right, everyone, see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. All right, everyone. So we're going to do our midday market recap here for this morning, Monday morning, and the momentum this month is continuing to be really strong. So I'm going to make it official here. I got to catch up for entering my Thursday profits and Friday profits. And now here are the Monday profits on Victoria Day in Canada. All right, my calendar is informing me of that. So $7,118.73 of profit. Solid green day. $5,000 on Friday, $2,000 on Thursday. So that's $14,000 in the last 3 trading days. And at this point, it's just putting me further and further above my $40,000 monthly goal, which I hit in the first week of May. So, that's definitely really nice to just be, covering some ground here and making some progress. I did have a red day last week, dropped down $6,500 into the red, but I bounced back into the green really quickly. So, that's the good news there. You'll notice that my trading account says all trading allowed P&L is greater than minus 1990. So if I'm down more than $2,000, my account gets locked up and I can't keep trading. So this tells you that at some point today I went into the red. And I went into the red because of the spread on CANF. So CANF is the only stock I traded today. It was straight off the watch list. This is one of those days where everything kind of came together pretty nicely and was able to hit that daily goal, trading CANF up 40% pre-market. So here's the deal. Many of you guys already know I'm hosting a workshop today at 1 p.m. Eastern, and this is exactly the type of stuff I'm going to talk about. CANF. How did I find it? Well, I found it on my scanners. How did I know that it had potential here at 9:25 a.m.? Here it is at 10:30 or almost 11. I'm up $7,000. How did I know, an hour and a half ago that this stock had the potential to turn into this type of profit? Well, I'm going to walk you through my 5 criteria for identifying a strong stock to trade using this scanner. And then I'm going to talk about my 2 favorite ways to buy strong stocks on the chart. Right here, this is going to be the second strategy that I talk about today, which was a break of pre-market highs. I mean, really like a perfect example. Pre-market high here was 755, jumped in for the break of 755. There's a quick move up to 846. Right there was about $5,000 of profit. Got back in right here, and I actually lost a little bit on the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. And then I got back into it right down here for the break over VWAP and made back the little bit that I lost and got myself even further into the green. So, trading is one of those things where it's kind of stacking layers of knowledge, understanding how to manage risk, understanding how to find strong stocks to trade, understanding where to get in and where to get out, and knowing how to use the platform to maximize on the opportunities, utilizing hotkeys, being able to get in and get out quickly. And I was able to do all of that on CANF today, which was great. So another solid green day, and I can feel really good about that. So again, those of you guys who are in the chat room, I'll just put the link here one last time for our 1 p.m. workshop. Those of you guys watching on Facebook, the link is in the description. And those of you guys watching on YouTube, the midday recap this evening, well, unfortunately, you probably missed the workshop because it was at 1 p.m. Eastern. So you guys will have to stay tuned for the next workshop. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. So the next time I host a workshop, you'll be able to get the alert on it early. So anyways, CANF, let's back this up here. So this is what was happening pre-market on it. It was taking off. It was up 40% by 9:25, and I was just hoping it would hold off before it, it just made this final squeeze. I would have loved to have been able to buy it down here, or even down here below 6, even down here at 6. But it just kind of kept squeezing up pre-market. And unfortunately, when that happens, it does sometimes kind of break the pre-market, the gap and go setup, because it's so extended by the time the bell is ringing. And so that's kind of an issue. And this one, we know, was a more thinly traded stock. I had trouble getting in. I mean, the bell rang and I tried to jump in right away, and it was just hard for me to get full entries. I mean, you can see right here, these are my orders. I'm trying to buy. These are all, except for one, partial fill, and these ones were rejected completely. Rejected. Well, I had to cancel it because it didn't fill. So no fill. 1,200 shares, 3,000 shares, 1,500, 100 shares, 1,270 shares. I mean, I was trying to buy, and I was just not getting filled. And that was pretty much the story of the stock today. It was like tons of orders and having a hard time getting filled. It was just moving so quickly. So even with my offset to buy above the ask, even then I was still having a hard time. But despite that, when you have a move from 755 up to 846, that's a lot of potential. And I was able to do well on that move. It then pulls back. It drops back down here to 752, sideways, and as it curls back over 8, I got back in on this green candle, thinking that if we broke over 8 and we broke this high of 820, we would retest the high of day of 846. That didn't happen. It hit 820 and then dropped back down to 765, and I stopped out and took a loss. It then pops back up again, drops down again, no trades on it, just sitting and waiting. And now at this point, I'm watching the 5-minute setup. I'm watching the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. So this is a perfect example for the workshop today because I traded my 2 favorite strategies on it. Break a pre-market high and buying the first pullback. So those of you guys who are going to be in the workshop, just remember as we go through those strategies, how it applies to CANF here. I might even try to add this one to the workshop real quick since I've got about 2 hours before it starts. First 5-minute candle to make a new high was right here over 755. Now, as it started to curl up right here, I saw volume coming in, and I was just like, this thing is taking off. It looks good, so I'm going to be aggressive. So I jumped in as it started to squeeze up. I added for the break over $8. We hit a high right here of 790, and then we dropped down, flashed all the way down to 720 before, finally coming back up here to 814. So it ended up not being as solid on the first 5-minute candle to make a new high as I hoped. I still made money on the trade. It was still a green trade. It just wasn't as good as I wanted. And then this was sort of that ABCD setup, the down, up, but it didn't end up breaking and holding. So at this point I was like, all right, I'm done with it. I'm going to step back. I'm not going to push my luck. I'm going to take the profit and bail. The trade where I had the most risk was this trade right here. This is where I took my biggest position. I added here, well, I added, it was like right up here. I had 12,000 shares. So I stepped up by adding into the breakout. And I was looking at this potentially as, 12,000 shares. If it breaks over 820, I was going to add again to 15,000 and be holding 15,000 shares, goal of high a day, 846, and maybe a move into a circuit breaker halt and a squeeze up to $9. That could have been a $15,000 to $20,000 winner had it really opened up. It failed. I recognized that quickly, switched gears, took my profit, added a couple $1,000s, bringing the day up to 7,000, which was good. And certainly, of course, better than a loss. But and this was really the only thing for me that ended up giving me opportunities. OTLK, I know some of you guys were watching this. It did also give us that same break a pre-market high gap and go trade. The break of $3 resulted in a squeeze up to 335. The daily chart gives you room up to 466, but I just left it alone. I don't know. It was already 5 million shares of volume pre-market. I felt like it was going to be a tug of war. I lost 1,000 on it on Friday, so I just wasn't super into it. And nothing else really hit the scanners after the bell rang. It ended up being just a little bit on the slow side. So, you know what? That's fine. NVAX hit, but didn't really do much. BioC, Rave, a couple others, but I don't know. Not a lot. So just figure I'm going to take it as another green day. Feeling good, feeling charged up, ready for the workshop here at 1 p.m. And that'll be today. And then of course I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, live streaming around 9:15 as we look for what's coming up next on the scans. And yeah, absolutely. I don't want you guys just blindly following me. I want you to understand the strategy. CANF, it's a gap and go strategy. It's what I teach in the classes. If I wanted you just to follow me, I wouldn't even bother teaching classes. I would just say follow me. I want you to be able to trade these all by yourself because you understand the setup. And, really this is holding up quite well. I mean, I'm impressed that it's still at this level. It's still up 47% on the day with 3 million shares of volume and short sale restriction. I would say 814 right here would probably be 815, the most kind of critical trigger. If it breaks 815, well, we should see a break of 846, and this thing is, from here to 846, and then maybe a squeeze up to $9. So, take a quick look at the daily chart. What are your support and resistance levels? Resistance is right up around 915, and then above 915, it has room all the way to 1050. And we do that by looking to the left and up for these little windows. So, this one still has some potential. Keep it on watch for those of you guys who are going to stick around. I guess I left an order at 850. Just to, if I happen to be looking at it, to take a trade, but I probably won't. I don't want to give back profits today. So if I do take another trade on it, it would be really small size. I'd maybe go down to like 2,000 shares. And then if I double, I'd be at 4,000, and maybe I go up to 6,000 or 8,000 if it's, if I've already got profit, but I don't want to jump in with 10,000 shares and then lose 30 cents. It's just not worth it. This is a solid green day, 3 times the daily goal, and just making great progress on the month of May here. We've still got a full 2 weeks left, so we're in really good shape here. So time to put the pedal to the metal, be aggressive, capitalize on these opportunities, knowing that they're going to have to tide us over during an inevitable slow patch, whether it's a week from now, a month from now, or sometime in the middle of August. The market will likely slow down, and we'll have to just kind of sit on the profits that we got from the hot momentum earlier in the year. So anyways, that's the game plan. I'll see most of you guys at 1 p.m. Eastern, and everyone else will see you first thing tomorrow morning for our pre-market analysis. All right, bye everyone. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.